ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to the CD Racoola Show. Today we'll be taking a look at the fresh 2023 film, Renfield. When I first heard about this film and figured out that Nicolas Cage was going to be Dracula, I was crawling up the walls in my lair with joy. And no, I don't mean that metaphorically. I think Nicky Cage is great for the job as Dracula, and certainly not even his first time delving into the vampire genre. Cage was in the film The Vampire's Kiss. Great 80s film. You should definitely take a sneak peek at that. One very unique and very, shall I say, Nicolas Cage type film. Cage is pretty good in this Renfield film, and most definitely stole the show as the infamous Count Dracula. Though he was good, it was far from the actor's best work, in my humble opinion. I think they could have done more with such an immense talent such as Cage. I did like his look as Dracula, and here's a pic of him. All those sharp teeth, as opposed to just the classic two sharp fangs look, rather, makes the vampires look a little more animalistic and sinister, don't you think? Okay, so here it goes. I hate to put this movie in a bad light because it was such a darn good idea, and I don't want to discourage filmmakers from delving into other less explored horror characters, mind you. Not that any of these filmmakers and Hollywood guys ever listen to old CD anyway. Does anyone listen to this old vampy? I don't know. Oh well, on with this show here. They need to do a film on Igor, but make it less funny and far more horrific. And you guys in YouTube land are staring at your computer screens with one hand in a bag of Cheetos and screaming at your computer screen, but old CD, they have an Igor movie. Yeah, you're right, but that's not what I'm talking about, you imbeciles! I want to know what the background is on the Van Helsing rendition of Igor. You know, he just seemed like such a scoundrel, if you ever saw that film. I mean, look at the guy. I said all this to say that although this Renfield film was a good idea. No, it was a great idea. I just didn't really like it that much. Nicholas Hoult played R.M. Renfield, and I really like Hoult, but he just seemed like a really nice guy who was going to therapy sessions and whatnot, just making friends with these people. Not, in my opinion, who Renfield was. I feel like R.M. Renfield should be a fiend and a lunatic. Major loose cannon he was, something to be feared, kind of a dark little creature of the night. Not this guy who in this film wanted to, like, decorate his apartment. I don't know, I just found myself kind of hating this film for turning him into such a nice guy. A vampire's henchman or familiar should be pining himself to be himself turned into a murderous vampire to rule the night as I do. I mean as Dracula does. The whole film was just simply blah, 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 Nicolas Cage scene. Blah, 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 Nicolas Nicolas Cage scene! Blah, 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 and more blah, occasional Nicolas Cage scene. I just found myself waiting impatiently for whatever foolishness was put on the screen to move on quicker with the story to the part where we get to see Dracula. Just not very entertaining as a whole. Certainly not scary, and the cast wasn't great to me as a whole. So, though it certainly was the right idea, and I hope to see them delve deeper into some other classic horror movie characters that have not, or rather have been on the outside looking in on these films, such as Igor. It was going to take more than Nicolas Cage to save this film from certain doom. No doubt about that. So, if you're wondering, yes, it is with a heavy heart that I'm going to give this film extremely low marks on the old scarometer and leave it at that. I would like to take this time to thank you for joining me here on the CD Racoola Show. And if you Renfields out there could wipe the fly guts off your fingers and press that little subscribe button, I would be at your service and might even turn you into a full-fledged vampire one day. You better make sure you subscribe to my next episode of the show, because I will be taking a look at the 1992 film Sleepwalkers. Oh, meow, that looks good. So, till next time, my little pints of blood out there in YouTube land, if any of you ever wish to be a vampire's familiar like Renfield, feel free to send in your resume. The interview process for me is absolutely killer, that I guarantee. Bye-bye for now.